I'm sure you've all seen this video at least once. The famous humanoid robot doing parkour, backflips, front flips, long before this topic became a massive trend. We're talking about Atlas by Boston Dynamics. But a lot of time has passed since those first viral videos, and today the same robot is aiming to actually work inside factories. They grow up so fast. But are we really ready to understand what this means and what the real consequences could be, both positive and negative? To answer that, let's start from the beginning. Boston Dynamics was founded back in 1992, essentially as a spin-off from MIT, and from the start it focused on building dynamic and highly agile robots. Over the years they created several machines that went viral online: Big Dog, Spot, Handle, and eventually Atlas. Yes, those same robots you've probably seen getting pushed, kicked, and tested in viral videos. But in recent years, Boston Dynamics has followed and in many ways helped create the humanoid robot trend, transforming these machines from simple social media demos into more complex systems, powered by AI and capable of handling real-world challenges. And that matters because the real world is the one we live in. So it's worth understanding what's happening before we suddenly find a humanoid robot walking down the street and have no idea how it got there. Now, back to Atlas. The early versions were based on powerful hydraulic systems. That's what allowed those incredible jumps and acrobatics, but they were also heavy, noisy, and prone to issues like leaks or mechanical failures. So about a year ago there was a major shift, and the Atlas you're seeing now is fully electric. It's slimmer, more flexible, easier to maintain, and overall much more refined. The old one clearly looked like a prototype. This one looked much closer to something that could actually be deployed in the real world, even potentially sold to individuals, considering how many companies are now targeting home robotics, like for example 1X. I talk about them in this video. But that's not Boston Dynamics' focus right now. Instead, they've recently announced, following companies like Figure, that they want to deploy these robots in factories, especially in production lines. And along with that, they introduced a new version of Atlas, taller, stronger, and more capable than before. We're talking about a robot around 1.9 meters tall, weighing between 9 and 100 kilograms, that has joints with up to 56 degrees of freedom, making it extremely flexible, and that can lift up to 50 kilograms, more than double the previous version. Plus, thanks to his height, he can place objects up to around 2.3 meters, so it's perfectly suited for large industrial environments. Battery life, which often is a weak point, is rated at around 4 hours, but it can change the battery pack automatically, possibly using a system similar to what we've seen on robots like the Walker S2 from Ubitech, where the battery packs are replaced by the robot without stopping the operations, making its autonomy potentially much higher, although this specific implementation hasn't been fully confirmed yet. Of course, all of this comes with grippers, cameras, and sensor that allows the robot to perceive its surroundings, so it doesn't knock over the one human worker still nearby, at least accidentally. It can also integrate with industrial systems like MES or WMS, but for now there is one small issue. You may have noticed that in the last couple of minutes everything we've seen of this new Atlas has been rendered, but Boston Dynamics is usually known for showing real footage of their robot in action, and for this version, for now, they've only released the 3D renders. Even some people have already pointed out in the comments, but hopefully we'll see real tests soon, maybe in 2026, and if we do, I'll keep you updated. For now, the real news of this video is that Atlas is no longer just a robot for demos, and it's officially been positioned as a production robot with serious industrial ambitions, starting with Hyundai. If you're made this far, drop a comment with something like humanoid or robot. It really helps the video reach more people. Now back to the main point. Boston Dynamics has signed an agreement with Hyundai Motor Group in the US for an initial deployment between 2026 and 2027. Just we don't know how many units yet, but just like other companies, they start with relatively simple tasks, what are often called sequencing tasks. Things like sorting, moving parts, and basic assembly, like we've seen with the Figure 02. As shown in the renders, one of the key applications is light assembly, taking components and installing them into products that are already partially built. Obviously, over time, the goal is to move toward more complex tasks, and they've set a timeline to evaluate whether this approach makes sense at scale. Speaking of scale, Hyundai is not just testing testing these robots. They've become co-owners of Boston Dynamics, and they've announced plans to build a factory capable of producing up to 30,000 robots per year by 2028. That tells you a lot about how much they want to invest in humanoid robots. One important clarification: Atlas won't immediately replace human workers. At least for now, the idea is to work alongside them, reducing physical strain and handling repetitive and heavy tasks, or at least that's the official narrative. Now let's talk about something equally important: the brain of Atlas. Boston Dynamics has long-standing collaboration with major players including DeepMind, which is heavily investing in what's often called physical AI. That is one of the fastest growing trends right now: AI systems that don't just process information, but can actually interact with the physical world. Not just humanoids, but also quadrupeds, drones, and more. The goal, slightly unsettling if you think about it, is to give robots basic capabilities, but also ability to learn new tasks, all autonomously and in days instead of months. That means less manual programming and more learning through data and experience. Even though we still don't know how many years programmers and technicians will remain essential to support these humanoid robots before they can learn to handle every task fully on their own. And this capability is essential if robots are going to operate in real-world production environments where conditions constantly change. But of course, not everything is perfect. Let's talk about what could go wrong. And no, I'm not talking about robots taking over the world. That's still more science fiction than reality. I'm talking about real, practical issues. For example, manipulation capabilities. In fact, most humanoid robots, including this one, use gripper-style hands. They can open and close, sometimes with limited finger control, but they lack true dexterity. That makes them great at picking up moving objects and handling simple assembly, but much less capable when it comes to fine, precise tasks. Some startups are working on more advanced robotic hands, but they're still extremely expensive, complex, and difficult to control. You also have to consider that the more complex the hands are, the more likely they are to break and require maintenance. Costs and risks that for now aren't justified by performance that still doesn't come close to a human worker. So for now this remains a major limitation. Then there's safety. Even though Boston Dynamics is known for showcasing impressive performance, they've also shown failures. Robots falling, making mistakes, sometimes even breaking. And while that transparency is a good thing, it also highlights that there are still risks, especially when these machines operate near humans, because it's one thing to fall during a demo, it's another to fall while carrying a 40 or 50 kilogram object in a real factory. And this isn't just Boston Dynamics, other similar robots have been seen stumbling during basic movements. Now imagine that happening in a busy industrial environment full of people. Another big factor is real economics. Is it actually worth implementing these robots, not just considering the initial costs but maintenance over time? We already have some early data. For example, a humanoid robot tested by BMW showed noticeable wear after just 6 months. Of relatively light use, I'm talking about the test from figure 02. Scratches, worn components, especially on the ends. Nothing catastrophic, but still significant considering the short time frame. So maintenance cost could end up being higher than expected, even though over time this might improve as production scales and costs decrease. But in the next few years it could slow down adoption. And finally, there's the biggest concern people always bring up: jobs. Right now in most companies, robots and humans work together. Machine handle heavy tasks while human focus on precision and finishing work. But if robots continue improving, we could move toward a scenario where more and more tasks are automated. And we already have early examples like the so-called dark factories in China, where automation levels are so high that lights are barely needed. We're talking about automation levels that can reach up to 98%, creating this almost dystopian scenario when only dark factories remain, with the sound of the machines running in the background. I talked about them in this video. On the other hand, new types of job will be increased. In fact, already companies like Boston Dynamics, Figure, and others are actively hiring. The issue is that these jobs are highly specialized, which could increase the gap between those who can access these opportunities and those who can't. It's a complex topic, probably worth a separate video. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments, especially if you have more experience in this field, I'd be really interested in your perspective. But coming back to Atlas, it's had an incredible journey, from viral parkour videos to potentially working in real factories, and despite the limitations we've discussed, it's very likely that we'll start seeing these robots deployed at scale within the next few years. For now, we just have to wait for more real-world tests, and I'll see you in the next video when we'll explore another technology that could shape our future for better or worse.